Today is my friend Tyler's 30th birthday. We're at the New River Gorge, and his goal is to climb 35 12s today. Yep, you heard that right. It's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm just leaving Ray's campground to go meet up with Tyler, Tony, and Tara at the Sheets in Fayetteville.
The boys!
So the plan is to be at Endless Wall and pulling on to the first climb at 6 a.m. And hypothetically, if all goes well, the last climb will be being pulled onto at 11:45. But that's if everything goes exactly according to the plan, which at this point might already be changed.
Tyler, tell me what the current plan is so that I know.
Tyler proceeded to mumble through a bunch of abbreviated route names, so to spare you the decoding, the plan was this. Go to Endless Wall and climb a handful of routes twice each, for a total of around 8 routes. Then head to Kmore to double 6 different routes for a total of 20 by the time we left there. Finally, we'd finish out at Upper Meadow to bag the last 10 routes to total 30.
Do you think you'll finish closer to midnight or closer to 4 a.m.?
If I could estimate, I think I'm going to finish at like 9 p.m.
It was 6:17 a.m. when Tyler pulled onto Sacrilege at Snake Buttress, a 12B covered in waves of rolling fog. I'm not entirely sure why, but as he started ascending the route, I felt a lump in my throat. It's a Monday morning and we're out here. It's good to be alive.
I don't know if you get flash pumped. I know you're pretty godlike, but if you do, be wary.
Currently, flash pump. That's not good. It's so funny how bad my skin is already. My skin actually feels like a soft velvet.
After falling on Sacrilege, Tyler was concerned that the move he needed to get past was taking too much of his skin for his goal for the day. So he went around the corner to the right and got on Jesus and Tequila, a 12B erect climb.
Nice tie. Tie. But it's not a fault, you're still warming up.
Yeah, dude. I'd rather this happen with like a slow ramp up than you blow your whole tank in the first hour.
After a fall at the fourth bowl, it was almost 7 a.m., a whole hour after the first climb was supposed to be sent if we were going to be on schedule. I really hadn't seen Tyler climb many hard things before, so I wasn't sure if this was part of the process or if he had been expecting to just run up everything.
I definitely wasn't climbing how I typically climb, which was loose. And like most of the morning I was trying to like lock everything off and like static everything and not use the right beta and like almost like climbing like nervous about making the goal happen.
This is Tyler on his first try of anything for the day.
I'm keeping records over here. Can't lie like that.
Wait, can I see your phone real quick? I'm not gonna throw it off the cliff or anything.
Leandro, I did not even know he was gonna be there. He literally the night before was like, "What time are you guys going out?" And I was like, "Oh, around 5:35." And he's like, "I think I'll join." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, I was like, "For what?" He's like, "I don't know, just for no reason. I just kind of want to go."
Woo!
So that was amazing. He recorded everything.
With the first send of the day under his belt, the group headed over towards the left side of the crag to set up on Hellbound for Glory, a 12A that started with a grovelly start. "I'm fully prepared for this route to be horrendous," Tyler said. Tony asked Tyler if he wanted to repeat Hellbound, but Tyler didn't want to.
Hey, I support your decisions on these.
I don't think I could have done it at all without Tony. You know, I think with his beta spraying and his tips and logistical mind made it so much easier on me.
How was it?
That route is amazing. It's just the bottom. I was like, I'll double everything endless. And I climbed one endless route and I was like, maybe I'll double none of them.
New World Order was up next, a 12AB with a campusy start. After 2 routes sent in a row, I was starting to have hope that Tyler had just needed a bit of warming up.
What just happened?
He looks like he dry fired right after the third bolt.
Tyler rested about 5 minutes and got back on the route, this time sending. While he was climbing, Tara, Tyler's girlfriend, called to tell us she was on the way. Tyler decided that he wanted to do New World Order for a second time, crushing the route and clipping the anchors at 8:44 a.m. Things were starting to look up, and it looked like they were only going to get better, because it was time to move on from Endless Wall to Kmore. Kmore climbing was bound to be way easier than the routes at Endless, and both Tony and Tyler predicted that the day was about to get a whole lot sendier.
You'll walk everything.
This is definitely the hardest.
Like, you on Lost Souls is going to be kind of laughable.
Lost Souls fine.
He's here. My favorite person.
She thought that I wasn't gonna have any trouble with this, and I was like believing her, and that was like upping my confidence a ton. But also at the same time, I was like, what is she thinking? I was like, this is gonna be so hard.
It's a hard road to travel and a mighty long way to go. It's a hard road to travel and a mighty long way.
The plan is to go to Kmore.
As we walked over to Kmore, I realized that going to Cotton Top instead of straight to Upper Meadow was what the boys were banking on.
Try not to go to Cotton Top with less than 10. That's a good idea.
My head was like, oh, I'll be done at 9 p.m. And then I'd be like, or maybe I'll be done at 3. And then I'd be like, well, maybe it's probably going to take me 24 hours because I might have to move slow. And then I'd be like, nah, I'm going to be done at like 8 or 9.
It was 10:18 when Tyler pulled onto Ministry, a 12B in the Butcher's Branch sector of Kmore. I held my breath. Was Kmore going to be as cruisy as expected? We were only 18 minutes behind schedule in getting there, but with 4 total routes to show for it at Endless, half of what was planned. This could be the comeback that we needed.
Nice. That's 5, baby.
I flashed it, I did the right beta, and then tried it 3 more times and couldn't do the correct beta.
Come on.
I switch feet, get a far out left.
I definitely learned I'm bad at repeating routes with the same beta. Typically when I climb in the gym, or outside for that matter, I always end up climbing things differently. Not intentionally, but like I'll just use a different foot, a different hand sequence, a different beta, if I have the room for error, which typically on that grade I do, but I learned when it's that hot and you're doing that many, I didn't have room for any error.
How are you feeling?
Really better.
Better?
I finally sent that after falling 19 times on it.
You didn't fall 19 times.
3. Ugh. Doing good though.
After a frustrating go at Ministry, Lost Souls was next on the list. Remember the route that they were talking about earlier?
Like, you on Lost Souls is going to be kind of laughable.
Go on, T, come on.
Okay. Tyler, are those jugs or are those like slats? Jugs. Did not use the good foot, you just died.
Tyler proceeded to tell Tony that he thought he was experiencing his first ever case of flash pump. I've never experienced anything like this before. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, like I know it's common, but I really never have, he said, as Tony explained for the 40th time that for sure seemed to be what his issue was.
Flash pump, when you know you're pumped, is when instead of a blood pump, it feels like a bit of a pain pump.
Despite the pump, Tyler pulled back onto Lost Souls to see if he could get past the move that he'd fallen on last time. I was actually really confused because he looked solid and smooth, but all of a sudden he grabbed the draw to clip and then asked Tony to lower him.
I fell 2 times on Lost Souls, which was my first ever 12A. It was like so mind blowing to me. I was like, what is that? It's like I climbed this thing 4 years ago when I was like a year into climbing. I had no idea what I was doing then. I feel like I know what I'm doing now, and I just got slaughtered on that thing.
That's a hard crux in the seat. Holy
Yeah.
crap. That thing is little. Your hands are so chopped.
I put my hand in that sloper tee with a
know.
bunch of chalk on it, and I was like moving around in it, and I went up above it and looked down to put my foot in it, and there's 4 fingerprints, wet fingerprints.
You're gonna run out of time.
For sure.
I think he's doing good. I think it's the worst conditions possible to try and do 30-12s. But we're going to hope for the best. And he also flash pumped himself, so...
Can that like go away if you like rest
It'll
a
go
little
away
bit?
in like a couple days. Probably not by the end of the day. And definitely not if he keeps climbing 12s. He tried to clip off a jug and it didn't go so well. So I think he might be in some trouble. But don't tell him I said that.
You do realize he's gonna.
I think as climbers, we've all had the experience of absolutely getting shut down on routes that we've easily climbed before. Up until this point, all the routes that Tyler was trying were routes that he had sent on previous trips, a few of them multiple times. Now, with the original plan for 3512 as being so far out of reach, we decided to shake things up a bit and put him up on a new to him route farther down the crag called Slap.
Flying up these routes if it were not these conditions. This is totally the humidity. I've never seen you climb like this.
As Tyler started back up the route for a third time, Tara suggested an alternative goal, and to be honest, we all had been kind of pitching in our opinions on this for the last hour or two.
I think you go for 30 pitches because you can do 30 pitches in no time.
I was kind of stuck on climbing 512 because it's my favorite grade to climb because the movement starts to advance. Like, you can start to flow through things. Sequences are still simple but difficult. Holds get a little smaller. So like I have a lot of fun on like 11s and 10s and stuff, but for the goal I didn't have any like, oh, I'm just gonna bail onto like 11s or 10s. It was like, no matter how hard it gets or how many times I fall, like I'm still gonna try and climb this grade because like it feels sometimes relatively easy for me to climb one or two of them a day. But like as soon as I got into like couple of them, trying them back to back, I was like, oh damn, it's pretty hard, and I wanted to keep it that difficult.
As I belayed him up Slap this time, he worked his way through the crux and to the change. Maybe it's 10 routes, 10 beers, and 10, I don't know, he joked as he hit play on his speaker.
I like how we're playing drums. I'm playing drums when the guitar hits.
It was 2 p.m. We headed towards the Rico Suave buttress to climb an erect climb called Preparation H. As Tyler began climbing the route, he seemed strong and smooth, almost like letting go of the goal a bit had loosened up his climbing. But based on the morning, I knew better than to think that he would start crushing all of a sudden.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Turns out, I was completely wrong.
I was like loosening up and like throwing to holds and stuff.
After sending Preparation H, Tyler proceeded to make light work of the climb around and to the right called Pockets of Resistance.
Come on. Nice. Good work.
And I was getting stronger. Like I felt significantly better at the end of the day than I did any time before like 1 p.m.
Maybe I can actually hold holds again. Last pump only lasted 8 hours. Maybe I just needed my sweetie to belay me a little bit because I
gave you too flashy. That's
Thanks.
all it was.
Thanks, honey.
Tyler, what's the plan?
Going to Cotton Top after some food. We're failing forward.
At 2:50, with 9 routes to show for the day, we packed up and swung through town to grab sandwiches before going to our next crag, Cotton Top.
I'm only doing 6 more pitches, you know.
Yeah,
I
what's
fully
that?
accepted the failure and how much fun it's been to not succeed, and it's been a blast.
I know I should have believed him, but something in me told me that Tyler wasn't actually close to being done for the day. At Cotton Top, Tyler was climbing totally different than he had been all day. He flew up 12B Tamarin twice within 30 minutes.
Nice, see?
Up next was Psycho Wrangler, which earlier in the morning had came up in conversation.
Is Psycho Wrangler on the list?
Oh yeah. Psycho Wrangler is going to be the glassiest, pumpiest, slipperiest route in the world.
In any big goal, there will be points that make you question whether it's worth it to continue. People will try to tell you what the right and wrong answer to this question is, but it's not up to them, and there is no right or wrong. You make a decision, and life carries on. Oh, frabjous day, Kalu Kalay. After sending Psycho Wrangler, Tyler put up another 12 on the right called Audio Fearing. As we began to reflect on this being his 13th 12 of the day, I joked to Tyler, well, I think that you did great, because I don't think I'll ever even climb a singular 12 in my life. Tara looked at Tyler, and Tyler looked at Tara. Then they looked at me. Top rope it, Court. Then we'll get pizza, they said. And that is exactly what we did.
Like I chose to stop the Sufferfest. And like maybe if I had been at like 18 or 19 or 20 when we stopped at 8, it was just like super fun to fail at something that is hard. And then you also learn while failing that you can do so much more than you intended. I think I'll definitely set more lofty goals and try to fail at them more. Sometimes you just gotta let shit go. The fact that it went bad, I think, is way more entertaining. The fact that I did good.
Yeah. Life is good.